favor. This is one more, please. Hola y bienvenidos a Otra, por favor. Fíjense que hoy tengo a una persona en el estudio a la cual admiro su trabajo. Nos hemos conocido 2 veces en persona, pero lleva, creo que desde el 2023 cuando nos conocimos por comunicación, porque ella es, si las tierras están haciendo muchas cosas buenas, esta persona es la que está behind the scenes acá, ayudándoles, manejando todo, lo que es las tierras. Y para mí es un honor tener a Stephanie Rey.
Thank you.
Stephanie, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, hola, muy bien, gracias.
Bienvenida a Otra, por favor.
Mil gracias. I've been wanting to do this for so long. You guys are so cool, so honored to be here. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. And you know what? We'll have to do cheers to that.
Okay, okay.
La abrimos y con salud,
Saludcita.
la abrimos y le damos.
That probably didn't help the audio, I'm sorry.
No te preocupes. Aquí pasa, aquí lo que el cliente quiera.
Lo que pasa, pasa.
Lo que pase, pase. Si quieres hablar en español, en inglés, aquí no somos rígidos, somos al contrario. Somos, como se dice, somos banda.
Perfecto. You're going to get the Spanglish for sure with me.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm down with that.
Okay,
So
perfect.
anyone listening that, likes Spanglish, I think this is an episode you're going to enjoy. And, the reason why I wanted to invite you is because, one, I appreciate your work, I appreciate you do, but also I want people to hear your story. And I think we got to know more each other the second time we talked, and it was at Fischer Studios for the anniversary of the, where you work. And I got to know more about it. I got to know more about, the story of you guys. And actually, it was pretty cool because it's in Canyon Lake, right?
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. But if you if you're a musician and you're doing something in there, I feel like you're going to be motivated by not just where you're at, but also like who you're with. And you guys were welcoming to everyone that was there. So for me, it was awesome. But also, I got to meet, we got to know in person this year at South by.
Yeah.
You came to me and you introduced yourself personally after, even though we communicated virtually. So to that, I want to say thank you.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Y me acabo de hacer tu comida Chick-fil-A. Cuando le quieras decir algo a la cámara, a tu raza, cámara va a estar la de enfrentito de ti.
Vale.
Esta mera.
Vale.
Y ahora vamos a hablar de tu historia, vamos a hablar de quién es Stephanie, de también lo que has hecho en tu carrera, porque si no mal recuerdo, todo empezó a una temprana edad para ti. Empezaste como intern y luego ya poco a poco escalaste la montaña hasta ser la jefa. Y traer a Mike.
Yeah, Michael.
Donde quiera que esté, un besote.
Sí. ¿Dónde andes? Atrás de la cámara.
Atrás de la cámara. Y antes de entrar en tu vida, en que la gente te conozca, me gustaría decirle a la audiencia, gracias por escucharnos. Para nosotros es una bendición que ustedes estén aquí escuchando a Otra, por favor, cada que sacamos contenido. También el hecho de que ustedes se involucren, ya sea con un like, con un comentario, para mí para nosotros es importante porque nos ayuda a crecer. Y también saludos a Rigo, Yari, Duke, donde quieran que estén. Fíjate que son 3 que de repente dijeron, hoy voy a descansar. Y me mandaron a traer a mí solo.
Ándale.
¿Cómo lo ves?
No, dijeron con Stephanie, no, mejor hoy no.
No,
Muy loco.
no.
Just kidding. No estoy.
Uno está trabajando ahorita, otro está rumbo a Frisco para un partido y otro está en UT. De repente, Duke.
Okay.
Duke creo que lo conociste.
Sí, lo conocí, sí.
Este güey se la pasa, de repente me llama, hey güey, voy a estar en Nueva York y tengo aprobación para este partido. Dije, ok, ya tengo las fotos, ya puse las fotos y todo. Es muy rifado. Pero un día que vengas para que conozcas a todos,
Sí,
vas a ver la vibra.
Sí, me encantaría, la verdad.
Y vamos a entrar a la parte de tu historia.
Okay.
Aquí digo, the
Adelante.
life of the artist, the creator, the producer, the life of Stephanie. Si a la audiencia le puedes decir de dónde eres tú originalmente y cómo tu niñez forjó a la persona que eres hoy.
Claro. Yo soy Estefanía Rey. You probably don't know that. I don't know if I've ever told you. My real name is Estefanía. And soy de Chihuahua, así que ahí crecí. Soy de Chihuahua, y crecí con mi mamá como hasta los 8 años. Mi mamá se casó y venimos a los Estados Unidos. We moved over to West Texas, to Midland. So that's kind of where I laid my roots here in the United States. Cuando llegué no sabía nada de inglés, para nada. I think I knew how to count to like 5, and that's about it.
¿Y ahorita cómo vas?
Ahorita ya sé hasta el 10.
Ya,
hasta el 10,
ya.
sí, ya.
¿Y dices infrastructure?
Ándale. So yeah, that's where I'm from. De ahí vengo, y la verdad, súper orgullosa de ser de Chihuahua y de ser mexicana, y también de tener la oportunidad de ser mexicana que ya vive aquí, y poder tener the best of both worlds, I think.
That's amazing. Una pregunta.
Claro.
A mí porque la gente le digo que yo soy de la Ciudad de México, me dicen, ¿te sale el acento chilango? ¿Qué tranza? Entonces, ¿ahí te sale el acento de Chihuahua?
Sí, me sale. La cha.
La che. Tengo un amigo que se llama Diego y él es de Juárez, y de repente hablamos y manda un voice note y, sí, estaba ahí en Chihuahua, en Juaritos, en Chihuahua.
Sí.
O estaba en Michoacán.
Sí, you're gonna hear it. Sí, se me sale de aquí.
Va. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Y cuando creciste en Chihuahua, primero, ¿cómo era, por decir, qué México te tocó, qué México te tocó crecer? Porque ya ves que por un tiempo fue mucho de pop y luego rock en español, y ahorita es más como urbano. Para ti, ¿cuál era? ¿Cuál eras tú? ¿En dónde encajabas?
La verdad me tocó un poquito de los dos. O sea, soy del norte, así que me tocó mucho norteño, mucha banda. También mi mamá creció un poco más fresita, mi mami, así que también crecí con un poco de Gloria Trevi, de Juan Gabriel, un poquito de Paulina Rubio, Thalía, Shakira, like the early 2000s Shakira was the best one, pero también los Tucanes, los Rieleros, a little bit of everything. I've got many different personalities. Me salen todas.
Sí.
2 cervezas y me salen las 3 personalidades.
Bueno, ¿y qué tal si tenemos 2 cervezas y un tequila?
¿Vale?
Va. Mira, para el segundo tiempo vamos a sacar la Carabuena.
Sí.
Ya tengo el shot listo, aquí lo tengo, aquí está.
Perfecto.
¿Te tocó ir a Bésame Mucho las últimas 2 veces que estuvieron?
Sí me tocó ir este último año, la verdad, y fue super last minute. You guys actually took me to Bésame Mucho. Me mandaron tickets, and I wasn't even expecting it. I think it was like something that I'm like, oh, un día sí, les había dicho a mis hermanos, like, we need to go to this concert. You guys are going to love it because it's everybody that we grew up on. O sea, toda la raza, la verdad, de todo tipo. Y last minute, Orlando had reached out and he was like, hey, we have extra tickets. Like, do you want to come? And I'm like, yes, me and a +1, please. So I took my best friend, who's also from Midland, from West Texas. He was in town, so it worked out perfectly. And I mean, we went from stage to stage. It was such a vibe. It's, again, everything that we grew up on, you know? Tu tío, it's all your tío's music that you like.
¿Cómo se llama los Tucanes de Tijuana? Pero también Palomazo. ¿Sí viste Palomazo?
Sí.
De hecho, antes de que llegaras estaba acomodando todo con Palomazo.
¿Sí?
Sí. Dije, hoy es un sábado de menudo en la mañana y escuchar a Palomazo.
Sí, me gusta. That's how every Saturday should be.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's Bésame Mucho. Whenever you went, did you have your whole outfit o te fuiste más relajada?
What did I have? I did think I had mi gorra because I love to wear a gorra. I'm always, honestly, even if I'm not in the country, I'm always in my botitas. I'm wearing my botitas today. It's just like what I'm comfortable in. So I definitely was wearing botas y mi gorra también. Sí, mi tejana.
Que de hecho, Stephanie, mayoría de las fotos que ella pone está con su sombrero. Pero bien, con estilo, estilacho.
Sí, por favor.
Sí, no.
Sí.
Aquí pura gente con estilo. Porque ayuda, porque Rigo y yo no tenemos estilo.
No, sí lo tienen, sí.
Somos 2 chavorrucos que... sí, el Rigo así, con su playera tumbada, con sus chinos, parece menonita.
Claro.
Y yo soy de todo el tiempo negro. Todo el tiempo negro. Entonces, algo que también quería... Alfredo, gracias por darle las boletas a Stephanie.
Sí, Thank you.
Es un compa que también queremos mucho. Que también, de hecho, cuando las tierras han estado en el estadio, por Alfredo es donde ellas se sienten, las acomodan y las ponen ahí. Han hecho el heartbeat también, que ha estado muy, muy bueno.
Sí.
Y creo que lo que hacemos es, en Austin, más que nada, tratar de convencer de que crezca la comunidad, de que crezca todo. Y por eso hacemos Otra, por favor. Porque no nada más que sea de aquí de Austin, sino también, y los artistas, sino también la gente detrás del trabajo que los artistas hacen. Porque hay mucha gente que no ve el trabajo que ustedes ponen, a la organización que ustedes dan y todo lo que es manejar para que un artista pueda sacar la mejor versión de ellos mismos cuando crean la música. Y por eso está o sea, yo cuando vi Fischer Studios y cuando te conocí a ti, dije, they're in good hands.
Oh, thank you. That's a big honor. Thank you for saying that.
No, hombre, al contrario. Digo que te quería preguntar otra cosa.
Pregúntame.
Te pregunto. Cuando tú ¿cómo empezó para ti llegar a lo que es la industria musical? ¿Fue por medio de conocidos? ¿Fue porque aplicaste? ¿O lo tenías tú de México? ¿Cómo empezó todo? Porque esa pregunta me gustaría saber y que la gente entienda también. ¿Cómo es cuando tomas un paso y luego ya llegas a ese lugar?
Claro. Pues la verdad, la música siempre ha estado, como te digo, en mi ser. O sea, que mi papi, mi abuelo, siempre nos cantaba cuando andábamos en el rancho y era parte de ir a campear con él, con todas sus canciones, esto y lo otro. Así que eso siempre ha sido parte de mí. Pero creo que getting more on the music side of things and industry side. So I originally started working for studios at Fischer about 10 years ago. I was 21, ya tengo 31.
Ok, y me ganaste en esa, te iba a decir, pero espérate, si tienes 22, ¿cómo llevas 10 años?
Empecé a los 12.
Ándale.
Sí, pero empecé con el estudio porque the owners, Pat and Tracy Drennan, I've known them from West Texas as well. Y yo trabajaba en su compañía, él era ingeniero en petróleo y tenía una compañía en West Texas. And so I would go in before school and after school to, get a little bit of money. I would file, I would answer phones before, the main secretary would come in, and I would be filing in the morning, and then I'd go to school. Summer times, Christmas, all of that. And so I really looked up to him as an owner, as a leader, as a businessman. Great guy. And I originally wanted to go to law school, believe it or not. I wanted to be an immigration lawyer. I think it came from coming from Mexico y saber todo el proceso. Again, I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to be an American citizen now, but I also know that is such a blessing that many other people don't have. That route can sometimes be super messy and confusing, and there's not enough help out there. So I think I wanted to try to give back to my community and learn from that and become an immigration lawyer. So I graduated from Texas Tech a year early. I thought I still have so many more years to go to be a lawyer, so I might as well get this done early. But then I did an internship at a law firm, y aunque me encantó the work that I was doing, I found myself like getting up and like talking to all the secretaries and all the lawyers and just chit-chatting and wanting to know more about their lives.
Okay. And, well, I mean, that's what attorneys do. They learn about people's lives.
Right. But it was a lot of paperwork. It was, I saw kind of the back end, the less glorified side of being a lawyer, right? Which is the reality of it. At the same time, it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of being in your office. Y como que tuve que escoger de mi corazón and follow my heart or follow the money, right? And because I felt like the lawyer side might be better for the money side, and I wanted to become something of myself. I wanted to make my parents proud and make sure that, I was able to be financially stable to one day retire them and give back, for everything that they've done for me. So I think that was like a big tear in when I was about 21, trying to figure that out, trying to figure out my career. But through that internship, I realized I want to try to do both. I want to try to follow my heart and, get something out of it, really help people, help my community, help in the Spanish the Mexican world and in some way, but also try to make money at the same time. So I actually called the owner and Pat Drennan, and I said, listen, I just need your 2 cents as to how do I tell my parents that I don't want to become a lawyer. Everything that I've worked so hard for, these past few years. And I said, I just need your 2 cents so I can sound smart and they'll be gung-ho about it still. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, he said, listen, I didn't even know this, but he had just finished building this recording and production studio out in the hill country, and they hadn't even had their first session yet. I mean, it was the grand opening of it. And he said, why don't you come intern for 6 months, and you'll have something under your belt that's more in the production world, that's more into what you want to do. Because that's what my major was in. My bachelor's was mass communications, media strategies, and a minor in Spanish. And I wanted to be able to merge both. So I thought I wanted to work after that with Telemundo, Univision, that side. And so he said, you'll have something under your belt, and then you can go from there, And I was super thankful for it. And I said, of course. So I moved from Lubbock to Canyon Lake, Fischer, Hill Country area. And 6 months has turned into 10 years now. So
that's a bold change.
Yes, it is.
And whenever you told your parents about, you were going to come to Canyon Lake after college, and you knew you're not wanting to do law anymore, how did they take it? Like, what did they say?
I think my dad said, Dad, I want to be happy with my job and I want to be fulfilled. And he was like, no trabajas para ser feliz, trabajas para hacer dinero. And I think it's so cute to like the Mexican community, right? Yeah. And like, and it's so true. Like, I know that he didn't want to be out in the sun and working hard, and he wished he could do something else, but he was grinding, and that's kind of their generation. And I remember telling him, I want to try to do both. Like, I want to challenge myself and try to find something that like I'm truly passionate about, that I truly love, and still be able to take care of you guys and take care of myself and be independent and do my thing. And so again, super thankful. My mommy was supportive. She was like, okay, like if you're going to do this, then, I mean, honestly, both of my parents were super supportive. Like, we'll believe in you and let's see what you can do from here. Mm-hmm. Again, I thought I wanted to work for like Telemundo, Univision. I thought I wanted to be in front of the camera, and I can't tell you now that I work in production, I never want to be in front of the camera.
Como ahorita.
Como ahorita, sí. Honestly, it's hard. I was like hyperventilating all day today. I'm like, sorry. Pon el perro ahí.
Pon el perro ahí. No. So, you told them, te apoyaron. Sí. And I think like I always talk to people whenever, because I'm already 40, so I've gotten to learn how to do something responsible, get a career, but also do this.
Yeah.
And I think for our parents, that's what they came, or that's why we came to this country. That's why we are here, because we want, like, as much as, and there's nothing wrong with, ser construcción, abogado, ser doctor, porque se necesita esas profesiones. Claro. Pero también tenemos la oportunidad de poder tener otras opciones que realmente queremos hacer.
Sí.
Pero también todo lo que uno tiene que hacer tiene que ir con responsabilidad. Y algo que me gustó fue de que tú fuiste y tú seguiste tu sueño de querer hacer algo diferente. Porque imagínate, tal vez si hubieras sido abogada, te lo hubieras pasado bien, hubiera estado bien.
Sí.
Igual lo hubieras hecho porque siento que eres una persona inteligente. Gracias. Pero también como que te hubieras quedado con la espinita de que, pero imagínate.
Exactamente. And I didn't want to look back and then regret it. I wanted to make sure that I'm going to try this. I always had it in my back pocket. O sea, si no trabaja, okay, I can go back to school if I need to go, I can have that. But honestly, I ended up loving it. I ended up loving being part of helping people, helping artists and musicians and creatives kind of fulfill their mission in life as well, and letting them focus on the music and the art and what they're so good at, and being like the team that takes care of everything else so they can focus on that. That has been like a blessing for me, for sure.
That's cool. Did you ever do music yourself?
No. I wish I could. I always joke to the tiaras that I'm always going to go in there and do background vocals. But I cannot sing at all. No. The only thing that I can do is dance. That's about, I mean, I can carry my rhythm, you know. I was a dancer growing up, and todos los bailes, todas las bodas, you know, todas las pachangas de familia, that was always my thing. And that's why I loved music, because that's the way that I could express myself. But I wish I could sing or play an instrument.
Imagínate.
El acordeón, that would be my thing.
Ya te veo.
Ya me ves. Or the... ¿Cómo se llama? I should know that.
Se me pasó, a mí también. Sí. y es muy famosa, pero es como un instrumento que todos sabemos cuál es, pero siempre se nos olvida cómo se llama.
Sí, that would be probably the only one I could play.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You need some of that too in life.
Yeah, you do.
That's cool. So you made a step. You came here. What was, you were doing a lot of, clerical stuff, like basically ground bottom up. When was the time you felt like you took a step? Okay, you have some kind of promotion, or you did something that, like, okay, I'm in the right place. Can you feel like, okay, I made a good decision?
Yes. I think it was when we started creating the label side of things, Lucky Hound Music. So again, I work for Studios at Fischer, which is a production studio, recording studio built from the ground up, acoustically designed to be what it is. Mm-hmm. We sit on about 10 acres. So that's kind of our day-to-day side of things. But we also created Lucky Hound Music, which is a different entity, but a lot of the same key players that work there. And we created this indie label. And I think going through that process was super inspirational for me. It was motivating because I did get to touch the lawyer side of things when it came to the contracts. I got to learn all of those things that I did want, that did interest me in being a lawyer, right? But it was applied to the music scene. It was applied to the artist and those deals that were being made. So that was such a learning curve. And I think at that point I was like, okay, I understood the industry a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And so getting my hands around that really inspired me to kind of keep climbing there. And that's where we signed the tiaras, and I started also managing them at the same time. So that was also like another stepping stone for me in getting to work with these Latinas, these sisters, where all of my values aligned with being Latina, with being family oriented, with trying to be a builder in my community. So I think getting to work with them was a big deal for me. Super inspirational.
Whenever the tiaras came, were they the first like Latina based artist, or do you guys had someone in the past?
No, I think that they were the first Latinas that came across label wise. Okay. Yeah, we had Latin artists come to the studio and record out there and choose us to record. Mm-hmm. Carlos Alvarez had come out there from San Antonio, and a lot of artists on his label. So that was also super fun and inspiring. But the tiaras were really our first Latina act.
Sí. Mm-hmm. So, and I think like, como digo yo, chamba, la chamba.
La chamba.
How was it like you bringing in did you bring him in, or how did that work? Because
so that came from their producer, Michael Ramos. So Michael Ramos was part of the label, and he had worked with them in the past. And so we started kind of building that relationship. We started getting to know them. Something that I love about the label is, this is a huge commitment to both the artist and the company. This is a marriage, in other words, right? And you don't want to end up getting divorced. So you want to make sure that you take the time to date and to really get to know each other, and to make sure that you're going to be a good fit for each other, that even when the times get hard and you have to have those tough conversations, that there's like a mutual respect and understanding there. Mm-hmm. That I think that we all felt immediately with the tiaras and with the Valtierras as a whole, as a family, because even Hector and Mom were involved, through every step of the process, for sure.
I love how they're parents were involved. You know, even now they're still there.
Amen.
Pero that's, you know, you said a key word, commitment, and it's sort of like a marriage. And when you're building something professional, I think there's the fun side of it, the music side, but there's also those tough conversations, and there's also like, I mean, there's some really, really good things about it, but there's also like, because at the end of the day, it's a business, right? At the end of the day, you have to do things to make it, you know, the best, like to make the best out of it. And there's disagreements between one side or the other, but I think from what I've seen is, you know, nobody really notices that, because whenever the others are out, it's like flawless.
Oh.
And I feel like a lot of that is because you guys have done amazing behind the scenes with them.
Thank you.
But like for you specifically, what were some areas where when you learn about contracts, and for example, you like te costaba aprender eso, or is something that came to you like right away because of, you know, your background in law?
I think obviously like it's law is ever changing, and especially music law, you know, it with everything that comes out, like it changes, and sometimes there's like gray areas, but it was pretty easy. It was a lot of fun. I think it made it easier for me because we had a great lawyer that knew how to explain everything to me, dumb it down for me, give me the key things that I needed to know in order to do my job and make a decision for the artist, for the company. And I think having his guidance, shout out to Bobby Blunt, was, what a cool name, huh?
I know, Bobby Blunt.
Bobby Blunt. But I think he made that process just a whole lot better for the whole company, but especially for me. I mean, he was very patient for me for, you know, all of the little questions that maybe to me seemed repetitive or dumb, but he was super patient with me, and that was a lot of fun. And again, it made me feel like, okay, I understood the music industry a little bit better, so I could represent them even more and keeping them in the forefront of it.
That's and I always think whenever you learn something, you don't never unlearn it.
Yeah.
Se queda ahí.
Sí, ahí se queda.
So that's cool. How you talked about the repetitive questions, and I think you never had someone, you know, worked in this scene, like in this industry, in your family, and you were the first one taking a step. You encounter a lot of the times where you have to be vulnerable and be like, man, no sé lo que estoy haciendo.
Yes.
Did you ever have those moments?
Oh, of course. And I feel so thankful that the owners of the company have always really allowed me to have room for error, because they've always seen that as an opportunity to also grow and learn. And I'm super thankful for that, because I think that is key to building and to growing. You can only learn through your mistakes half the time, you know? So I definitely was there and in learning curves. I mean, there's half the time where like I couldn't, trying to explain to my parents what I'm doing, and they're like, ¿Y qué? Entonces nomás, you're having fun all the time, you know? Like that's what they think, because it is such a fun industry, and it is so much fun, but they don't realize the back end of things and all of the moving parts and those tough conversations that we were talking about. I think that was always like, oh, okay, what do I do next? But I feel so thankful from generation to generation. Like I feel like I do this for my grandma, for my mom, for my great grandma, for the opportunities that maybe they didn't get to have as Latinas, as Mexicanas, as women. They had 2, 3, 4 kids by the time they were my age, and it kind of had to put their dreams on hold and focus on being mothers and wives. And I feel so thankful to live in this lifetime and to be able to have the opportunity to focus on my career and to, you know, live my dreams out and figuring that out, because I know that generations before me did not necessarily have that opportunity. And so like I'm doing it for them. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did. No, you did. And that actually goes with another question, is like the conversations you would have with your parents about what you're doing. When did you feel like they got to understand, like, okay, you're actually doing something, you know?
Right.
You're doing something.
I think that it was I became chief ops when I was 27 of the studio, and I think just having that title was a title that my parents finally understood. You know?
Yes, chief, jefa, ya,
la jefa,
ya la hizo.
Like no sabemos qué haces, pero ya eres la jefa. Great. I think that was like a good stepping stone into that, where they were finally like, oh, okay, and they got to see I'm overseeing these projects. And also here recently, I will tell you, we've been doing some work in West Texas where my parents have actually hosted my team, and we're working on a documentary out there, and I'm also doing a commercial out there. So through this documentary, I think my parents got to see like the behind the scenes aspect of it, all our crew unwinding afterwards, talking about the key questions that we were doing, talking about camera placement, where we were going to be shooting, and all of the things that go behind a production that I think my parents got to be like a small part of in there. And so I think that they started understanding that. One of the biggest compliments that my dad has ever given me, and like that means the absolute world, and I don't know if I've ever told him this, but after these times where he hosted us, he called me one day and he said, hey, I was thinking maybe you could help me do a commercial for our company. And I'm like, say less, like, yes.
En corto.
Sí. No, y la verdad, that was like one of the big, like that meant to me, he saw our work, he saw what we were doing, and he was proud of it. And he didn't have to tell me that in those words, but that's exactly what I got out of it. And it meant the absolute world for him to say, like, yeah, I want to do a commercial with you. Because I also know that he doesn't like being in front of the camera or doing any of that. So now he talks production lingo, and I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, he does.
Ya está como que la cámara aquí, acá.
Sí, he's like, hey, can you take some stills, some like still photography? I'm like, okay. He learned, he listened.
Ya ves, influenciaste para bien.
Yes.
No, I think, and also when as you were growing in this industry, you never lost touch. I'm thinking like you stay grounded y en vez de sentirte como que ya soy la jefa, es como que no, hey, cáguenle todos acá, vamos a. And I like and even with my friends and even my family will tell you this. I like talking to people who have this same vibe that, hey, cuando se arma algo, ¿quién le puede caer?
Sí.
Mientras más mejor. Y en veces, si se tiene que expandir, lo expandemos.
Agreed. If I grow, you grow. Like, I'm taking you with me. Yeah, I agree.
Por ejemplo.
Michael Salas, shout out.
I tell you what, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
And you're going to get to pick one of the songs for the tiaras in this break. We're going to play it y tú me dices cuál.
Okay. Qué emoción.
Las canciones son Can't Stop the World, Live Love Free, Soy Chingona, o si tienes otra que tú quieras poner, ahí me dices.
Okay. Sí, I think I'm going to do Soy Chingona. I was thinking about La Negra Tomasa, which I don't think that you have on there, but I can send to you also. But I think Soy Chingona.
Va. Yeah. Órale. Entonces, ahorita regresamos. Yep.
I've been saying every day that our sisters are ready for a change, even though you're standing in our way, telling me it's not my place to say. Gonna leave the doors open, gonna crash the walls burning. We will rise and fly. We don't need to compromise. 'Cause for us we decide. We will rise and fly. We don't need to compromise.
we are back. En esta parte me gustaría preguntarte a ti cuál es tu misión y tu visión como Chief of Operations y Artist Relations. ¿Qué es tu visión en ese aspecto?
That's a great question. I think my mission in doing what I do, whether it be through being a chief ops or working with artists, label management, is making sure that I do things with heart and dignity, and making sure that I am supporting my artist and fighting for them, being an advocate for them, even when it's like not, we were talking about being, it's still a business at the end of the day, no matter how, it's a family oriented or whatever it may be, it's a business. And so sometimes you have to make hard decisions and very cutthroat and like black or white decisions. And what I strive to do is to make those decisions with heart and with still being a good person and remembering your values and how you grew up, and giving others the opportunity that maybe you wished you would have had, or the opportunities that were given to you, and like paying those forward. So I think with everything that I do, I really just try to not sell my soul, in this industry, and like everything that you can get caught up in. I don't want to be too cutthroat. I want to make sure that I'm a good businesswoman, that I'm someone that can be trusted, someone that that will fight for you, that understands you. And I hope that speaks through, every phone call that I do, every meeting, every production, every album that we put out, all of the stuff that goes on the back end of things. Like, I try to do those with as much as heart as possible and dignity more than anything. So I don't know if that answered your question.
No, that answered the question. Because before we go there, cheers to that.
Saludcita.
Saludcita. Carabuena.
Salud.
Thank you.
Salud.
Sí. ¿Qué tal?
That was good.
¿Te prende?
Depende.
¿Te prende? No, los apreciamos, Víctor. Él y su equipo siempre nos dan.
So good.
Nos dan. Aquí tengo más. Le damos el segundo si quieres rato. Va.
Aquí hicimos puros secretos ahorita.
Ahorita ya se viene la parte del chisme.
Sí, ahorita sale el chisme.
Ahorita sale el chisme, third part. Mira, voy a poner la botella y para darle al rato.
Yes. I love
el nahual. Así le digo a mi primo.
Sí, me encanta. That's beautiful.
I was actually talking to a friend, right? When you're doing this, you gotta have fun, be professional, but you were saying you also gotta have it with dignity. And I think that's important porque no te pierdes, and you keep your values. I think that's also, and especially whenever you're like in the music industry or media, a lot of the times are what we know, we can use it for good. We can use it to help people. Like, for example, you're advocating for your artist. So doing that, like, that's great porque that's your goal. That's your job to look out for them, and for them not to be taken advantage, and for you guys not to be taken advantage. But also, it comes the fun part. It comes the fact that, like, hey, you get to know people like the Tiaras, the other artists that you guys manage, and then the more you grow, the more you see the growth. You see them grow. But it's all because there's a lot of work behind it, and being as professional and also as diligent. So I think that's good because I for example, whenever I think of doing this type of stuff, I always want to be diligent, right? Every single scene, every single sound, try to perfect it as much as you can. Claro. And like for you feel like you found. The more you do it, the more you found like to be as perfect as you can. However, there's also room to grow and room to improve.
Of course.
Going into you working here, how do you feel about everything that's going around you with this industry at the moment?
It's a loaded question there. I feel thankful. I feel blessed, to be honest, to be in the position that I'm in, to have the support that I have. I realize that the music industry is ever changing. The production world is ever changing. And I just feel so privileged to be able to do what I do and work with the people, with the team that I get to work with the creatives that I get to work with. I'm super, super thankful. I think more than anything, we can get, you can get sometimes in your head about this or about that or the political climate or this or the money side of things. But at the end of the day, we are so privileged to be able to do what we do and to work in the industry that we get to work in. And so you just have to remember, nobody's dying at the end of the day. We are here to help lives. We're not doing brain surgery or anything like that, thank God. And we get to focus on the beautiful parts of it. So I feel thankful for that.
I was watching so usually Friday nights I go into the brain surgery part. I've been watching The Resident on Netflix.
You have.
And then,
I haven't checked it out yet.
Dude,
Is it good?
It's good.
Okay,
Like,
I've been
es como,
wanting to.
me gusta de vez en cuando el chisme. Me
El
gusta.
chisme.
Pero ayer, por lo regular, los viernes, mi esposa y yo estamos sentados en el sillón. Nos quedamos dormidos y nos despertamos a las 6 de la mañana de que, güey, tenemos que irnos a la cama con la espalda bien adolorida y el perro ahí de repente que quiere que lo saques del baño.
Sí.
Pero siempre es con 3-4 episodios de The Resident. But going into doing all the stuff they have to do in the healthcare industry, like we don't have to do that. We have to, worry about, music, make sure it's good. But also, it's I don't know where I was going with this, pero I think I wanted to go into this because what you're doing, right? There's a pathway. There's a lot of young people, and I don't know if I added this in the notes or not, but there's a lot of young women out there that want to do something. That want to do, especially Latinas. Going into earlier, you mentioned the political aspect. They just click in my mind, and it's how. And I don't want to get political here, but I do want to get to being there to represent, and how you were able to, as a Latina, remain in a company that is, male dominated. Y eso no te, a lo mejor sí te intimidó al principio, pero nunca te quitó la confianza de hacer lo que quieres hacer.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Have you ever noticed that?
Yes. Growing up, you can definitely, again, I started as 21, so I think I definitely got in my head about that. About, do I know what I'm doing? You get imposter syndrome a whole lot. But again, I think having key people around you that do believe in you, and that remind you of you are doing a great job. You are supporting us. The tiaras, they've always been super thankful. Those conversations between us and the way that we advocate and everything, that is something that keeps me going and that keeps my drive going. So yes, I can sometimes get in my head about things, but then honestly, I'm a big believer in God, and I like to pray and meditate and just remind myself I am right where I'm supposed to be, right? Even so, He's put everybody in my life for a reason, and so I just gotta take the bull by its horns and just go with it. And so I think we all get in our heads, but at the end of the day, we're right where we're supposed to be. So
right where we're supposed to be.
Aquí tomando.
Imagine,
Platicando.
Imagine if you didn't make that choice 10 years ago, coming here.
Isn't that crazy?
What would it have been like?
I don't know. I think about that all the time, about what it would have been like even before 10 years ago. I think about what my life would have been like in Mexico and before coming to the U.S. Again, I'm so thankful my mommy got married to my dad, an amazing man that, I've got two dads, one that helped make me and one that helped raise me. And I think that I'm so blessed to have had both of them. They've played such an important role in my life. And I think about what I would have had, how different my life would have been without that, the opportunities. Again, going back to what I mentioned earlier about doing this for my grandma, my mom, for my great-grandmother. Thinking about how my great-grandmother was like 19 years younger than my great-grandfather, you know? And like in today's world, that's like, excuse me? And so I just feel so thankful to do what I do. And it is crazy to think about where those life choices would have taken me. And so I'm just trying to take advantage of it and make the most of today and where I'm at. And in knowing that hopefully I also get to have the experience that they've had in being wives and being a mother and, you know, doing that side of things. But I'm so thankful that I've got to develop my career so far. I'm incredibly blessed for that. Not everyone gets that opportunity to like follow their dreams and really go for it and have the support from both your family, your friends, your bosses, and all of that, and give you the room to grow. I think that's key.
And it's like, and for us to give what we do to our families in a different perspective, like there's still work behind it. There's still a lot of work.
Claro.
Pero para que ellos entiendan esa parte es como que está también nuestro trabajo de hacerlos sentir como que, güey, está todo chido. No tienes que hacer todo eso todo el tiempo. Puede ser algo diferente.
Sí.
Or for them seeing it, I'm pretty sure your parents are proud of you too.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I hope so. Ahorita les hablamos.
Papá, ¿cómo te sientes? No, it's funny because with my parents, because my parents did actually, I mean, they knew I drank, but they never did in front of them until they saw me in the camera. They were like, ay, va Ricardo. Y luego de las groserías que digo y todo. Es que aquí estoy bien calmado, pero cuando son mis compas, otro pedo.
Isn't that funny how that respect or like that's still so much in our community?
Yeah.
My poor parents are like, esa andaba tomando desde que tenía 16. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Dad. But no, I think that
Exclusiva.
Reporte. So no, it is crazy. So how did your parents react? I'm over here interviewing you now.
Dale. No, aquí es una plática. Estamos chismeando.
¿Qué dijeron tus papás? Yeah, what do they think about? Do you go through something similar in trying to explain to them what it is that you do, and they think you're just having like so much fun all the time?
So, good question. So, whenever I went to school, so what I did, like, you know what, I have a plan. I need to have a plan. And it's because I went to get my degree first before anything. Like, I'm going to get my degree so that way they won't say anything, no me digan nada, no me reclamen nada. Porque si no tengo algo, me la van a hacer de todos.
Claro.
So, went to school, I moved out of my house at, like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. Con carrera, y de hecho trabajo con carrera. I came here because of my wife. We were, dating, and then like, hey, we need to we're doing long distance. Y luego ya tenemos que a ver qué pedo. Y luego de repente, después de que me casé, it's like, okay, I have a career established. Okay. Yeah, and now I need to do something fun that I really want to do. Because I don't like being at home after work. I wanted to do something productive, but I've always liked radio and media. So I was like, you know what? Let me start this podcast that I've been wanting to do. And I started it. Pero empezamos diciendo groserías y tomando el primer episodio. And my dad was like, Ricardo, te quiero apoyar, pero
no puedo.
Pero no puedo. Es
sí,
contra
I'm
mis
sure
valores.
He is proud.
Now he
That's
actually
amazing.
now he understands like what I do.
Right.
And like even like my 40th birthday, estábamos en una alberca y estaba pero hasta el gorro. Y de repente,
as you should be on a birthday.
I should be. And but I would come to my parents and be like, ya me quitaron la herencia que no tengo. So, but they see it, and I think they've seen a lot of the stuff that, like, everything that we've done, and they're proud of it.
Claro.
They're not like, no me reclaman nada. Y aparte porque no me pongo en situación de que, o sea, todo lo que hacemos aquí es responsable.
Claro.
Porque there's safeguards. And I feel like as we get older and we're Latinos, we've learned how to like build those safeguards and take care of us. And I'm pretty sure you've probably done something similar de que, okay, estoy aquí en esta industria, pero poco a poco tengo unos rieles en los cuales me tengo que cuidar para que no me desbalancee.
Agreed. No, and I think that comes from your moral. I think that speaks to your parents and the way that they raised you and the morals that we grew up with and what they instilled in you, you know, and what I'm sure you will instill in your kids and their kids or whatever it may be. I think that that is so key. It's a way of honoring our parents at the same time. Like their voice is always in our head, you know, at least for me. Que diría mi mamá, que diría mi papá. So I think that while still following you and what Richie wants to do. ¿Qué quiere hacer Ricardo real, you know, in reality? So that's awesome. I applaud you for that.
Hey, we're killing it. We're killing it. No, and it's like...
Otra cerveza, por favor.
Otra, por favor. Otra cerveza. No, ¿y sabes qué? ¿Quieres otra?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, y es que está muy... and I know, I think we're like, you know, I do build an outline, but I always like to take care of it because, like, you know, ahí viene la conversación.
No, of course.
Pero es chistoso porque, por decir, nuestros papás. Y vamos a hablar de nuestros papás ahorita. Sus papás, como a ti cuando que estabas en la industria, que te veía tu papá, ¿qué es lo que te dijo la última vez que dijiste, chale, papá, sí estuvo chido lo que me dijiste de lo que estoy haciendo?
I think talking about, I think I touched on this earlier, is talking about this documentary that he has been supporting us and helping us through. This last time, this has been my year of, my yes year. I think I was telling you offline a little earlier of, you know, I've spent 10 years on focusing on my career and making sure that I got my education, and I'm working hard on who I want to be in my industry. But I realized this past year that I want to ask, ¿qué es lo que quiere Estefanía? Like, what is it that I want outside of this industry, right? Personally, how can I grow spiritually and all of that? So I've been taking a lot of trips. This has been this has been my year of, I got to go to Europe for about 5 weeks. I just came back from Puerto Rico, and next week I get to go for another 2 weeks with my abuelos. I get to go back to Chihuahua and go to my grandpa's ranch, which is where I got to grow up, and I think some of my character was built on that ranch. And so I get to go back for that. So something that really stood out to me was when I told them about this year and all of these trips that I was going to take, and listen, I'm spending half of my life savings on all of these trips, right?
As you should.
Yeah. And realizing that, and like being worried that maybe they're going to say it's not responsible.
Yeah.
It's, you need to save it for this or save it for that, which is obviously also a good idea. I was a little nervous about telling them about, hey, I'm taking all of this time off and I'm going to be focusing on these trips and me internally for a little bit. And my parents were super supportive about it. They were like, good, it's time. Like, you need to figure out, you know, take care of you at the same time. And that to me was such growth, because my whole life they have been pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. So I think in them supporting that side of things for me, it was realizing that they were proud of me in some way, and they were like, okay, now you can do this. It was like a approval that they gave me, and that meant so much to me, to know that they trust me and my decisions that I'm making, and that they believe in me and that they see it, meant the world to me. So I think that's what they have told me recently, that I'm just like, that's at my heart.
Porque Stephanie, she was... you were in Europe a couple months ago, right? Y luego de repente en Puerto Rico.
And de repente
en Puerto Rico. That's good. You know, and it's like when with our parents, you know, I'm pretty sure they always wanted to do something what you're doing right now, taking the trips. Something simple, like another maybe for other people works different, but you know, I always talk to my wife too, but like now we're planning the end of the year, you know, where we're going to go. And also we're planning next year, what we're going to do next year. But I think a lot of that comes with I like planning as much as I can, especially when you're married. And, you know, my wife, she's intelligent and she's like, hey, vamos a planear. Like, hay que hacer las cosas al último minuto. Sí.
Yeah.
Let's plan it. And I can see why, because when you go and you have everything, you know, set in stone, lo disfrutas más.
Claro.
But esa parte de viajar, like you feel like, now that you've traveled more, como que te ha expandido. Si tenías en sí la mente expandida, ahora como que te abrió más la mente.
Sí, la verdad que sí. I think just going to a different country, and I'd been once before to Europe, but this time I got to like go back and with time, con tiempo, so I took 5 weeks off. So it was really spending time in each city and getting to know the people a little bit better and the culture and the way their day-to-day life. And I think, you'll know more of this, especially coming from Mexico, like the pace of life in the U.S. versus Mexico or Europe even is so different. We get so stuck in that day-to-day mentality of like our jobs, our work, go, 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 be in the car, logistics from here to here, and we got to make this payment and this, that you get lost in it in that day-to-day. And so stepping away from that for a little bit and getting to travel, seeing people enjoy their mornings, their cafecito, sitting outside con la vecina, platicando, chismeando, checking in on each other, having that community sense, like it just reminds you of there is so much more in life than your work, right? And from that day-to-day, like you got to really live it. And so I think stepping away for a little bit just reminded me of that and helped me make the most of the day-to-day that I do get to come back to and that I am so blessed to have, but like making the most of that and not stressing out about the little things that like, ya pasaron and it's fine and it's going to be okay,
Imagina, Stephanie, 8 de la mañana en Italia con su cafecito.
En Italia, sí, on the beach. Sleep. A las 8 de la mañana, honestly, I was sleeping in. I was definitely sleeping in.
Which part of Europe did you enjoy the most?
I think Spain, to be honest. Fui a Tossa del Mar, which is like about an hour away from Barcelona. And I loved it. It was like a beach town. I loved being able to speak the language. Italy was also absolutely amazing, but I think it's something about being able to like talk to whoever's selling you your groceries, being able to communicate and understand the culture a little bit more makes such a difference. Yeah. So I think that's why I loved Spain the most. But Tossa del Mar, el agua estaba preciosa.
Yeah.
It was super clear. I had like no routine. Part of the way I'd like to travel is making sure that I don't have like a super tight schedule where like I have to go from here to here to here to here. Like if I meet somebody, we meet friends or whatever, like we can do whatever we want to do. So I took my little brother with me before he started med school. So he went on this Europe adventure with me. And it was also just such a memorable experience to be able to like be together for, I think that was the most time that we've spent together in years because he's 9 years younger than me. So I'm the viejita in the family. And,
si tienes 22.
Sí, sí, cierto. Él tiene 12, otra vez. So I think that experience was just absolutely amazing to be able to be with him.
And like right now he's medical school. How was him before going to like this medical school life, going into a trip?
He, I'm super proud of him, and I think he put so much pressure on himself. Like my parents, we always tell him that he's like the favorite child. He's the perfect child. He's starting to be a doctor. He's just like such level-headed, such a good kid, Christian boy, like God-fearing. And I think it's like all of the key things. And I think he was like he's always put so much pressure on himself to go to medical school, to also become something and make something of himself. This was like the 1 month that he had to just, to just be a kid. So I really enjoyed that side of him and being able, because after that it's like, I got to write this paper and fill out this scholarship and do this. And he's like in the library half of the time. So it was just really special to be able to witness that and be part of that, time in his life where he got to like really just relax and enjoy the moment. And hopefully he learned something from that he gets to take through medical school. So
talking about enjoying the moment, after you traveled, llegas, te sientas a tu escritorio después de vacaciones y estás sentada y de repente you get like this inside jokes in your mind about your trips. Or you get like this like, güey, estuvo chidita aquí de repente.
Well, the flashbacks.
Ándale.
Yes.
Y da como que ganas de ir a otra. ¿Sabes qué? Al año que viene.
Sí.
Porque tenemos vacaciones, tenemos.
Sí. vida solo una. a vivirla. No, yes.
No, because I think the longest vacation I've done ever was last December when I went back to Mexico after 24 years.
Wow.
Para hacer cuenta que yo dije, ¿sabes qué? Tengo plan para hacer cosas, pero cosas. O sea, ir a las luchas, ir a ver a los temerarios en el GN. Bueno, de hecho, eso fue el último minuto.
Lo importante.
Lo importante, que sí estuvo muy bueno porque fue con mis primos. Y ya ves que una pedita con los primos es
lo mejor.
Es lo mejor.
Es lo mejor, yeah.
But it gives you a different mindset because now when you're here, like you're looking forward to what's the next thing you want to do.
Agreed.
And I feel like say what we've done as we grow older in our careers, como que ya sabemos que es lo bueno y we're not going to settle for less.
Yep.
Do you have that?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I think again, it's part of growth. It's part of learning. It's part of realizing that you've got to feed yourself in all the different parts of you, right? Like you got to feed the spiritual side, you've got to feed the industry side, career driven, your family values and all of that. But I think realizing what it is that you want, I think this has been my year of exactly that. I think for the past 10 years, I've been doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing, what your parents wanted you to do, what your goals were as younger self. But then you don't realize that you've also got to develop yourself outside of that. You've got to develop your personal side. That's also just as important. So through these trips, I think I realized that more than anything is making sure that I put just as much effort into that and into listening to my intuition and myself and what it is that I need. Because then I realized that makes me only perform better in my career. That allows me to be happy, to be refreshed, to be present in the moment so I can put my best foot forward.
Eso es todo, Stephanie. Which trip are you looking forward to doing next?
So I'm going, my grandfather turned 80. Well, he actually already turned 80 September 3rd. So we're having a big pachanga for him at the end of September, and I am so excited. I leave next Friday to go to Mexico and to go spend some time with my abuela and my papi on the ranch and just getting to, spend time with them and be present. We have no service out there either, so it's so nice to
utilidades.
Unplug. Oh, sí. Yeah.
No?
No.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. O sea, no hay nada allá. Which I love at the same time. You get to unplug and it just reminds you of what's important in life. So I think I'm most excited for that. There's something about like being with my grandparents that like triggers me back to being 7 years old and being a free spirit and I can do anything in this world as long as I have them with me. So I'm looking forward to that. Celebrating my papi, like 80 years is a big accomplishment. So hopefully we have him for 100 more.
You know what? En Otra, por favor, whenever we want to give a shout out, es un besote donde quiera que esté. Ahí
Papi, hasta México.
Hasta México. No, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you're going to be doing that, going back to the place that
Where it all started.
Where it all started.
Yeah.
Y nunca se va a ir.
No, nunca, la verdad.
Me recuerda a la San Felipe.
¿Sí?
Sí, that's la colonia donde crecí. No, pero mi abuelita sí me regañaba y me mandaba para las tortillas. Diferente historia.
No,
para
claro.
otro episodio.
No, o sea, también mi abuela, tú no creas. O sea, siempre
era
me dice
enojona.
mis verdades.
Sí.
No, honestly, I feel like they always loved me with... siempre me decía, si te pegamos es para que crezcas derechito, like como un arbolito con un maquetito ahí que te ayuda a crecer derechita. And you do need that. You need that structure in your life. I'm super thankful for it. But, I mean, they're grandparents, so they always still let me have my way, thank God. Siempre me chiplean.
Sí.
Lo bueno. Por eso voy, la verdad, para que me chipleen.
Ándale, te despiertas y ya está el desayuno listo.
El desayuno, tortillas recién hechas de la abuela, de harina, no, o sea, súper. Sí.
That's cool. ¿En qué parte de México? Bueno, ¿están en Chihuahua ellos?
Sí, okay. Están en Ojinaga, así que it's a border town entre Presidio y Ojinaga. Entonces es Texas, Chihuahua border. Es el lado mexicano del Big Bend, donde
okay.
So the Mexican side of the Big Bend, yeah.
So when I went to Big Bend once, but I had my DACA, and I was like, I was not in New Mexico, but I was like pretty close to the river.
Yeah.
Because you can't cross and you come back. So I was like, I seen it like, güey, imagínate, güey, si me cruzo para allá. No,
Sí.
no, va a meter un problema. Mejor me quedo aquí.
Intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
you were
about
like, corro no.
Corro no, me quedo no. Pollo no, güey.
Sí. That's funny.
I wanted to ask before we close, what are some projects that Lucky Hound and Fischer Studios have in the future that you would like to mention? Yeah. And we'll close with this question on mental health. Well, you probably already answer, but just to recap, is what do you do to take care of yourself? Being busy, done well in your career. Like, what do you do to have a work-life balance? Y cerramos con otra canción y esa tú la vas a escoger. Porque dijiste que escoja, que Stephanie que escoja, es su día.
Vale.
Ya es que ese día ya vieron.
Yeah.
Entonces vamos con qué proyectos tienen Fisher y Lucky Hound que te gustaría mencionar aquí.
Creo que more than anything, it's on the Lucky Hound label side of things, it's the tiaras. They've been working hard on their new album, which I am so excited for the world to hear. They've been working with their producer, Michael Ramos, and they just tracked a song in the studio with the Peterson brothers, which we're really excited about. So that'll be on the album as well. So I think that is what I'm most excited about, seeing their evolution from young women to really women, all around. Their lives have changed so much since I started managing them, and seeing the way that they write, the way their evolution has happened. I'm so excited for the world to be able to witness that. I see it on the day-to-day and the back end of things all the time. So I'm excited for people to listen to that and be inspired by that. So I think that on the Lucky Hound side. And on the studio side, we've been doing so much more multicam live capture of things, of live shows. We just went to Whitewater and recorded a show there with Treaty Oak, Austin Mead, and Applause for the Cause, all of these different projects that we're getting to do where we get to show off our skills, all of the really cool gear that the owners have captured and gotten over the years, all these red cameras, and seeing my whole team just work together on something like that and everyone pull their weight and some has been super fun to see. So I think doing more of that, we've got this incubator program, which is part of the studio service that we have, which is all of label-like services that maybe we have to turn away artists. We're not always looking to add people to the label and the management. Sometimes we have to focus on what we have, and the right time will come. But instead of turning those artists away, we've created this incubator program, which is label-like services, but you pay for it. The artist owns it all. You own all of your percentage. You own everything, and we simply just guide you through all of the key things that artists need to become, to put out their album or to put out their music and things like that. Anywhere from creating a music video, doing these live-to-tape captures, recording their music, the social media side of things that Ingrid out of the studio does absolutely amazing on. So all of those things that go on behind the scenes, getting to provide those services for artists that aren't necessarily on the label is something we've been really, really excited about. So I think that.
I like how you guys have options.
Yeah, we have options, yeah.
Because I think for artists, when they get turned away, la moral se les puede bajar.
Sí,
so I'm glad.
And I hate it. I hate not being able to work with certain artists and being able to help them through it. So I think that has been like a bridge that we've been able to have fun with, for sure.
Aunque no se pueda todo, se puede lo que puede.
Se puede, sí, se puede algo, siempre.
Se puede algo. That's cool. And the mental health, what do you do to, keep a work-life balance and also take care of your mental health aspect? Of
course. I think one key thing that I have been doing this year and has been helping me so much, and maybe a taboo subject in our community, is therapy. I think this is my first year. I think I've done my first year in therapy. I have a therapist que es de Mexico DF, así que she's like absolutely amazing. I Zoom with her about once or every other week. And I think that allows me the space to focus on Stephanie and not on anybody else. It's a reminder of like, es una hora de que I'm solely talking about my problems, that you're not dumping your problems on your friends or your coworkers or your parents, where you feel guilty about it. And it's truly just a time for like a mirror to be in front of you and for you to digest your feelings and your thoughts and just grow personally. I think that has been just an amazing thing that I've done for myself that I hadn't really thought about doing prior to this year. And once I started it, I've seen so many changes. I think that that's what got me to like have the put a perro over that.
We'll make sure that
to really make the decisions of like, okay, I'm going to step away from my job for 5 weeks or 2 weeks at a time and make these decisions for me. I don't think if I wouldn't have had my therapist helping me through that and taking away that guilt that I felt, I wouldn't have done those choices. And those choices have now made me into the woman I am today. So I'm so thankful for that.
Hey, therapy is helpful.
Therapy helps. Yeah. I recommend it to everybody.
Todos. Yeah. We have health insurance. There are some providers that I think you just pay a $15 copay.
Yeah.
You can do a Zoom. Like, you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And it helps like a lot. I recommend it.
So much.
Ayuda un buen.
I feel like we just had therapy today, honestly.
Que sí, fíjate.
Muchas gracias.
Hombre, para eso estamos. Así, haz de cuenta que chismeamos, ya tomamos tequilita, cerveza. ¿Qué
Tuvimos
más?
terapia,
todo. Nos reímos, lloramos.
Aquí, sí.
Bailamos. Ahorita bailamos y se viene lo bueno.
La chona.
La chona. El tucanazo.
El tucanazo, yes.
No, but Stephanie, thank you for coming and agreeing. I hope we can get to see you in Austin FC game in the future.
Yes.
And Otra, por favor, we'll take care of that for you, pa que le caigas.
Thank you.
But I think what you're doing, it's an impact to the music industry, but also as a Latina, to women out there that are wanting to do something different, that are wanting to take a step and going to where they want to go. It can be whichever career you want, but just follow your dreams.
Yep.
Bueno, a todos los quiero, se cuidan, se portan bien. ¿Y algo más con lo que te quieres despedir?
No, I just want to say thank you so much. Mil gracias, de veras.
Al contrario. Para eso estamos. Y para la siguiente va a estar más chidito porque nos vamos a poner un...
Para la siguiente,
stay tuned. No, we should do another one. I like having second round with people and just sometimes we talk about like, you're professional. Pero ya la siguiente es hablar de, a ver, ¿qué te parece el anillo que le dio Cristiano Ronaldo a su esposa?
I love it. Okay. Yes, I did.
We'll talk stuff like that,
Okay.
Más chismeado, más relajado.
Perfecto.
Pero gracias, banda. Se cuidan, se portan bien y como siempre digo, arriba el América.
Arriba el América.
¿Sabes quién es el América?
Sí, claro.
¿Es el mecanista?
Sí.
El campeón.
Arriba.